Jurassic World Evolution 3 had its playtest event in London, and with this, a ton of new footage has been released to the public, with the majority of said footage being quite solid, with the expanded terrain features and frankly beautiful graphics being the main highlight. But with the large amount of footage being shown off, I already have multiple problems with the game in its current state, such as the low amount of swimming creatures in the game currently, with there being only 5 animals that can swim in deep water, with T-Rex not being able to swim being especially upsetting because there's multiple notable sequences in the franchise where it swims. And it was teased to attack the kayaks when the Cretaceous cruise was revealed. But the lack of swimming animals isn't my main issue with the current state of the game, and it's something that's much more disappointing to me than swimming ever could be, which is the sexual dimorphism, with the majority of animals having little to no difference in the model and just minor changes to their pattern. This is especially disappointing to me because sexual dimorphism was one of the main selling points of this game, so it just seems lackluster and is quite upsetting. Rather than just talking about the bad sexual dimorphism in a broad context, I'd rather show y'all 3 examples of species with extremely disappointing sexual dimorphism. The first of these species being the Tyrannosaurus rex, with it having some of the most lackluster dimorphism in the entire game, with there being no difference between the male and females besides the patterning. This is especially weird because there are examples of sexual dimorphism in the Rex from the Lost World with the buck and doe, with the male having more prominent nose ridges, eye crest, and a thicker neck than the female Tyrannosaurus. The lack of attention and care on one of the franchise's most iconic dinosaurs really spells out the effort Frontier put into sexual dimorphism in Jurassic World Evolution 3, with the next creature being the Geosternbergia, with the crest on the female still being extremely prominent. This should have been one of the easiest and most obvious examples on how to give a creature good sexual dimorphism, but they somehow fumbled the bag on my beloved Geosternbergia. They should have given the female a small nub on the top of its head where its crest should have been, and yet they didn't deliver. The third example is of my beloved Edmontosaurus, where they gave the male a larger crest and giving the female a reduced crest. This is another example where it should have been very easy, with removing the crest on the female entirely being the desirable option, and just keeping the crest on the male the same, but that isn't what Frontier wanted to do with the sexual dimorphism on the Edmontosaurus. Now, there are more creatures that could have gotten better sexual dimorphism, so I'm just gonna rapid fire them. Male Atrociraptor shouldn't have quills, male Baryonyx should have a larger first claw and eye ridges, male Concavenator should be the only sex with quills and should have a larger head crest, male Giganospinosaurus should have larger spikes on his shoulder, male Muttaburrasaur should have a larger nose, male Nodosaur should have larger spikes, male Pachycephalosaur should have larger dome and spikes on the back of its head, and the female's dome should be a bit reduced, with the spikes on the back of their head being smaller. Shorten the quills on the tail of the female Protoceratops, reduce the crest on the female Quetzalcoatlus, make the shoulder spikes bigger on the male Sauropelta, increase the eye ridges on the Spinosaurus, and decrease the size of the keel on the female Tropicognathus. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, and I will give Frontier credit where they deserve, but the Patagotitan, Lokiceratops, and Maiasaur having some really good sexual dimorphism, with the Patagotitan having larger neck spikes and a more pronounced nose crest, which looks amazing. The male Lokiceratops has longer horns that curve as they get away from the head, and the male Maiasaur genuinely looks amazing, with the bigger nose really getting a lot of people to appreciate it more, which is good because it's an overhated creature. The sexual dimorphism in Jurassic World Evolution 3 is disappointing to me and many other members of the community, and I really hope Frontier eventually takes time to fix some of the creatures that desperately need it. The overall trend in Jurassic World Evolution 3 is that when an animal gets sexual dimorphism, the male gets the trait exaggerated and the female gets little to no changes. I personally believe instead of this, the female should get the trait reduced or removed entirely, with the Edmontosaurus being the best example, where they should have just removed the crest off of the female. Not all creatures need model changes for their sexual dimorphism, but a lot of creatures either didn't get model changes when they should have, or didn't get enough changes in the model, and hopefully Frontier eventually changes the sexual dimorphism in a lot of the roster. But now that this video is over, I have an important message, which is on October 18th, I will be doing a charity livestream for Respite Care of San Antonio, which is an organization that takes care of special needs children, and I would love if y'all showed up to the stream and supported them by either donating to Respite Care of San Antonio, or just watching and liking the stream. This has been a huge event I've been planning for a while now, and I really hope y'all show up and enjoy the stream. Join my Discord server, Prankster Gangsters, and I have to leave now, so bye-bye y'all. Have a nice day.